So I guess give me the origin story, the backstory of Cincinnati Cruisers.
How we came about?
Yes.
Well, to be honest, it's not my idea.
Okay.
It was my wife Val's idea. So I grew up on skateboards. First skateboard like age of 5, and then I rode skateboards. And then at one time, my dad was a naval officer, so we moved overseas, and I lived on top of this mountain ridge with little roads that went down to the sea, and there was a wood shop. So I would go to the wood shop. I would design a skateboard. I'd ride it, throw that one away, make another one. So that's how I kind of got into making them.
Okay.
And then, of course, and when I became an adult, I used my skateboard to move the washer around. You know, I didn't ride for a bunch of years.
Yeah.
And then I saw a guy going down the road on a longboard on my street, and I'm like, darn, I miss that. It's fun. You know, I'm gonna make skateboards. So started making them for my children, my girls, and my wife Val says we're gonna start a skateboard company, and I'm like, are you an idiot? Every 16-year-old in California wants a skateboard company, you know.
Right.
So I was traveling for work. I challenged her. I said, well, we're going to need a domain. We're going to need a web page. We're going to need all these things, you know. And I went off to work. A week later, I come home, and there it is. And I'm like, oh, she called my bluff, you know.
That's amazing.
So then we started making them. And then we've been, you know, I guess it's 5 or 6 years now, I think, we've been making skateboards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I like the way, you know, you kind of didn't think anything would come of it, and then you appeared, and the business was already started. Like now it's time to get to work. So I guess could you explain a little bit, like what's the process behind making a board?
Our boards, we call them kind of a hybrid because we use actual lumber. Back in the old day, you would laminate lumber together, and it'd be a real stiff skateboard, and fairly flat. And
see it? You want me to put it up?
Yeah, we can bring it up. Yeah.
We got
So
visuals.
what we do is I make that top out of lumber.
Okay.
And it starts as a half a top, and then we make it into a full top, and then it goes in a vacuum bag, and that's where we put the maple onto it, and we can put the kicktail in it. And I think this one has a little concave on here. You can see where the rails ride up a little bit. So that the vacuum bag allows us to do that. So that takes about a week.
Okay. A week per board?
About a week per board, yeah.
Wow.
But I'll be making 2 or 3 at a time.
Okay.
And a lot of that's drying time because of the finish, the glue, and my thing is, you know, I rode skateboards back in the. Okay, it's a confession. I rode skateboards all the way back in the '60s, you know. So it was a kind of, back then it was kind of this essence of the surf community. So you had these skateboards that look like surfboards. So we kind of continue with that tradition by putting the stripes on it and stuff. So
yeah. So what do you enjoy about this process? Because obviously it's very time consuming, very thought out.
You know, I get to be creative. It's kind of fun. The big payoff is when we sell, or you know, a skateboard. Nobody's frowning. You know, people. You know, kids are excited, and I'll make a skateboard that I think is gonna apply. It's an adult will want it because I found a really neat piece of wood that had something in it, and I have a 12-year-old going, "Oh, that's the coolest thing ever! I want that!" You know, so it's surprising, but it's fun. I get to make stuff, we also convert all of our smaller pieces of wood, you know, because like when I buy the lumber. You know, I'm buying an 8-foot board, and then we'll have. It's not always. We work very hard to minimize the waste because it's expensive stuff. That's Purple Heart in there and Paduke, which is expensive wood. So from there, we also make toys. We make some toys. We make a car. We make bottle openers.
Yeah. I think we're going to contact for summer reading prizes.
Here, actually, I brought one, and there's one of our bottle openers. So
I already want one, Mr. Fry.
Let's see if I can get that up there.
Yeah. So
That's pretty cool.
That's a pretty sweet bottle opener.
You can have that.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, it's all yours. That's and that's
She's
just
gonna follow you home now.
That's just some of our waist limit. Those things are really popular. People are always asking for the bottle openers, but their waste goes in there, and very little makes it to the fire ring behind our house.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is there a type of wood that you really like working with over others?
Surprisingly, walnut's fun to work with. Yeah, I like walnut because sometimes it has some purples in it. It's pretty cool. And then sapele or sapele is a nice mahogany brown kind of wood. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to work with, nice grain. So it's all kind of fun to work with. Some of the stuff is hard as rocks, and like the purple heart in there. Mm-hmm. They could use that as armor. It's almost bulletproof, but that's fun. The maple's great.
We'll get a charred oak barrel, a bourbon infused skateboard.
I think there's a guy that does that.
It wouldn't surprise me. Anything to do with bourbon seems to be, a thing.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, maybe if I could get it cut down in thin pieces, we could do a bourbon one.
So what is the typical width of a skateboard then? Like you mentioned, that cutting down to smaller pieces or thinner pieces.
Well, our boards are ones that are made on in the press in the bag. We have a 27-inch. Mm-hmm. And that was the original one. This one's probably about 28 and a half, but we call it a 27. And then we have a 35, and then we have a 39. That's the bigger boards. And they don't usually get too much more, at least our boards, because of the surfboard styling. Mm-hmm. To keep the right aspect, they don't get much wider than about 9 inches.
Okay.
Yeah. So. And I know, like in the world of the skate park boards, the board with the kick tail on either end, they go by inches and stuff like that. But we're not really we don't really care about that.
So since starting your business, I guess, what have you learned? What
have I learned?
Yes.
Oh, you can make money a lot faster doing a whole bunch of other things. Yeah, it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
I don't know. When you put the insurance, we buy all quality equipment too. Mm-hmm. It's not Chinese stuff on the bottom.
Right.
Those are Ace trucks, and so it's all American branded equipment. So those are expensive. I could go on Amazon and buy a bunch of cheap stuff, but we don't. That's why I tell people, like, if you ever damage your board, don't throw it out. Retain the trucks and wheels and stuff, because that's good top quality equipment. So.
Right. So you made that decision, when you were doing this, you were going to go high end quality stuff.
Oh yeah, people like nice stuff, mm-hmm. and people, want it. And additionally, we also, if we're contacted, we can work with you and design your board.
That's neat.
So it's your board only, So we'll find. I've tailored the thickness for heavier people. Mm-hmm. So the board wasn't too flexible.
Right.
Everything we can do that.
Well, and this is kind of leading into Emily, because Emily, the first time I saw this was when I arrived here, mm-hmm. and I was really impressed with the. It's a piece of art.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
The boards. And in my background, I'm pretty limited, but like playing guitar, you start picking up, noticing different woods and how things are used and such as that. And I have a father into woodworking, so you kind of pick it up. So I was really just impressed by that. I mean, not saying kids wouldn't pick up on it, but I don't know if they'd pick on the nuances at first. I mean, I know some would who are into it, but I'm just just looking. It was just really nice to look at. I mean, as far as a piece of work.
I had one day I had a gentleman and he was like, I'm too old to ride a skateboard now, but that looks really close to my skateboard I had as a kid. I'm buying it and I'm hanging it in my man cave as a memory of my childhood, you know? I'm like, oh, great, you know? And you mentioned guitars. I have all kinds of people like, can you make me a guitar? And I don't have a planer big enough because guitars are about 15 inches across, and so not yet. Maybe if I upgrade to a bigger planer, I'd be able to make guitar bases and stuff. But we do get that request often. We also make some cutting boards, you know,
right? Yeah,
around Christmas and stuff, or around the art show, because when you go to these art shows or the weekend markets, you know, we find it's really easy, and they all tend to be, and I'm not going to sound sexist, but it seems to be they're oriented toward the ladies.
You know,
and because there'll be 20 jewelry shops. And so they offer stuff off the table for like $10 up to $50, you know, and so I've got an expensive skateboard. So what happens, like on a long weekend where we do these things, I might sell like 2 skateboards, you know, and but we have all kinds of little things, you know, and we also have our, you know, our koozies and stuff, and it is surprising that we'll get contacted. I saw you 2 years ago. I'm ready to buy now. They paved my street. It's beautiful. I want to ride. You know, stuff like that. So it takes us a little longer to get seal the deal on a sale.
Well, that makes sense, though. Yeah, it's a little more of a purchase too, though. I mean, like you're saying, and there it has specific use. Okay, so now let's tie this back to Emily.
Well, I did have one question.
Oh yes.
Last year you added some color.
Oh.
Wasn't there a process to that? I just
well,
thought the process was cool.
We buy some dyed maple, and that's how we put the color stripes in there. Okay. Or now, sometimes I'll dye it myself. I have little tubes. I put it in, you know, but it's faster if I buy it pre-dyed. There's a company down the river in Indiana, Marwood, and they have dyed lumber there. We'll get it from those guys.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's
nice. The process of it.
It has, and that just puts a nice little stripe in there, you know. But I just haven't got down to Indiana to buy anymore. I got a couple days coming off here, vacation, so maybe I'll get down there soon and buy some more. That's great colors too, red, blue.
Well, this is beautiful. I like the idea last year that when you told me how the dye, how you dyed it in there.
I've got a black walnut we can chop down. That sounds good.
Sounds good.
Looking kind of good. Okay, Emily. So let's talk about how you discovered this.
Okay. I walked into King Arthur's toy store that is in Oakley, Ohio, and the kids were running all over the place. So I was looking, and I saw their display. They have like this huge display of all sorts of different things, and I saw the Cincinnati Cruisers. They had a really neat wooden, I don't know, I think there was like 4 different skateboards on it. And I was like, oh my God, I want one of those. They were just so neat looking. So I was like, I came back and I contacted him and I told him about our summer reading program. This is the 4th year they've been here to give away a skateboard. Yeah. Custom-made skateboard.
And the fact you deliver it.
Yes.
Come here.
Well, it's it's really nice to come down here because, number one, you guys are so nice. And we're excited to be a part of the program because, like, our youngest daughter, Haley, just met. She's an avid reader. That kid crushes books.
That's great.
So, I would... as a kid, I was that dyslexic kid that reading was always hard. You know? So it's nice to inspire children to read, and it's nice. So we like that,
So just you saying that, just jumping back. So how old were you when you made your first board?
Oh, I was in my teens, maybe I don't know, 15.
Okay.
Maybe 14. Yeah, it had to be 14. It's 14. It was 19.
Do you have any of those first boards or?
I do have a couple of my old skateboards,
That's
but
awesome.
not any of my handmade ones. The wooden ones, yeah. Because at that time I was making skateboards. That was when skateboards were made. These decks were made of fiberglass.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing then. And so my dad, because we traveled a lot, we moved, the fiberglass ones survived, and I think the wooden ones went in the fireplace. He saved a big can of trucks and bearings and everything, but the decks all disappeared. So I think they're in the fireplace somewhere.
Now back then, I mean, was it competitive, or did you just simply skate as you would use a bicycle to go around
Yes,
town?
yeah. When I grew up, at least then, and we left the California skateboard scene when I was a young teenager. We moved back to the East Coast, and then we moved overseas. So I wasn't anywhere near that kind of stuff, I mean, I didn't see a skate park until I was an adult.
Right.
I'm like, wow, that's really cool, But yeah, for me, me and all my buddies, it was transportation, and I lived for a while. I lived on top of the hill, so everywhere I went down, boom, just shot down the hill. It's a long walk back, but it was easy transportation.
Yeah.
So
it was pragmatic. I mean, it was a pragmatic use and pursuit and stuff like. Well, I mean, I feel like we kind of turn everything into competition. There's nothing wrong with just riding a skateboard, right? You don't have to do flips and.
Yeah, well,
snap a spine.
This is America. Everybody's pushing the
the
envelope, and you can make a lot of money riding a skateboard,
Right.
just as you can do the same thing on a jet ski or skiing or, it's amazing how you can make a living in our country. It's the most amazing thing. But yeah, for us, it was just, hey man, I'm going to ride down the road, and there's something nice about it. If you get on the right hill and it's just a nice meandering road and you go down, you ride it like you're riding on a wave,
Yeah, it's mimicking that surf. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a section of a trail not far from my house that I can ride, and just you get up there and one or two kicks and then you're just going down. It's
Nice.
lazy. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
So you're still riding that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I slowed down a little bit. I mean, they took a railroad line and made a rails to trails behind our house, exactly behind our house, and
That's calling to you. That's,
and it was kind of funny because they paved it. I mean, it was still warm, and they wrapped up for the night. And I'm like, Val, I'm going to be the first. I'm going to be the first. And I shot down that thing, and it was just so clean, and it was warm and tacky. And I'm like, this is great. I'm going again. It was just fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's
that's amazing.
yeah. What is it? It's weird, but. Stimulate you,
Yeah.
and for me, getting on a skateboard, going down a nice lazy hill is like a lot of fun, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Oh, I like how you articulate that too. That's really cool.
Yeah.
On that, well, and this is a little bit of a reach, but it kind of reminds me. I think we have this book in our collection, but the book Barbarian Days. It was about a man who surfed all over the United States or the world, excuse me.
Okay.
And just chasing that wave. So
I'm gonna have to read that one, man.
Yeah,
I'm a crummy surfer. I played around with a little one in college, but I like the whole travel surf thing. Going back to Endless Summer.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So Endless Summer. I can watch that thing. All the time. And I watch a lot of YouTube guys surfing and skating.
I went once in Del Mar. And I had the suit on, the wetsuit, and I thought I'd look amazing, and I think I look like the dad from The Incredibles.
You have a picture?
It's probably hidden, and it was really great because you did like it was like to learn how to surf. So and this woman was very very patient, and I could fly on my knees, and she's like, yeah, but that's not surfing.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't know what you're doing, but that's not. And I think I'd get on the board and I'd last like a second.
The pop-up maneuvers, that's the. Yeah, if you're laying on it, it's easy.
Yeah.
I used to boogie board, so that's easy. Paddle, away you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, surfboard, the pop-up maneuver and you have to be pretty flexible. You have to be strong, so you get in the crouch and stuff. So
I mean, having said that, it was still a great time.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
But you do get tired of dragging your board back out. You're gonna go back out and come back in.
I was in college. I had the surfboard, and I'd go waste a Saturday morning. I'd go to the spot where there was nobody there, and I'd surf for an hour or two. It's kind of like fishing. You go out there, and sometimes you catch something, sometimes you don't. But it's fun,
Well, it's kind of the same way when you explain that a new path. Like it's just I'm gonna get this as many times as I can. It's perfect now.
Yeah, I'm the first, man. Yeah, of course now. Of course now it's all covered with sticks and stuff like that. They do maintain it, and every now and then when I hear the blowers out there cleaning it off, I'm like, time to go. And
I love that, man. Just getting after it.
But it's funny. We made we had a lot of folks asking about electric skateboards because they're extremely popular. So we bought a kit that you can attach to a board. We made an electric board, and it's really nice because I can electric board to one of my favorite watering holes.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, and my buddy, he can walk there, so we'll go there.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I can just zip back home all on the trail.
Now, how are the electric boards for going up a hill then? Are they?
Oh yeah, they're surprisingly powerful. Yeah, they'll pull you up the hill. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Cool.
Of course, this is a railroad grade, so they don't. Trains don't like to go up hills, so
right.
So it's just ever so slight grade there, but yeah, it'll zip you up there.
Well, especially the way you're using it, as a form of transportation, so that electric would add just a complete different thing. I mean, a good way, a completely different.
Oh yeah, it's nice. And it even goes in reverse. You can back it up and stuff. Yeah, it's fun. My youngest daughter Haley would get on that thing, and she does what in skateboarding is called butt bombing. So she sits on the board.
Okay.
And she would get on that thing with a little remote and go up the trail, like a little missile, and she'd be zipping in and out of people. I'm like, oh man, this is scary when she learns to drive. If she skateboards anything like she drives, it'll be scary. But.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so you said you have coming up, you're gonna go to, is it an art show?
Yes, we're very fortunate. Our neighborhood has a old Central District with a fountain and stuff, and there's the Hyde Park Art Show. It's on the first Sunday of October.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a lot. It's a big day. There's a lot of folks come in, and they shut down all the streets and stuff. So we've displayed there. It's neat to be one of the local artists guys. They're like, where are you from? I'm like, just up the street,
That's
so
cool.
it's kind of fun, but makes a long day. We years ago when I was younger, I used to race sailboats. You know,
and have had the life.
When you live by the ocean, so
we're gonna put a mast on that. Is what you're telling me?
But I used to race sailboats, and I was like, man, I'm just tired of being sunburned and dehydrated. So then I started doing auto stuff, autocross, and I went to driving school, and then I raced a go-kart, and I'm like, at the end of that, I'm like, oh man, I'm tired of being dehydrated and sunburned. so now we'll go to these events, art shows, craft shows, and stuff, and I'll go home at the end of the day. Sunburn and dehydrated.
I was gonna say, are you outside?
I can't win. Even though we have an awning, there's just so much sunlight. I mean, it's good to be outside and stuff.
It's like that with our farmers market. You can't hide from the sun. You can set it up as nice as much as possible. Okay, so we'll include information in the YouTube about your company and where people can find out more information. Anything else you'd like to include? Just any? I think this is a great story. I mean, I find it really interesting.
Again, just have fun.
Awesome.
If you ride a skateboard, that's great. If you're a rollerblader, get out, get some sunlight, fresh air, ride a bicycle, go for a jog, whatever. Have fun, And if you're looking for something that's a little different, we make it. And
that's great.
Give us a holler,
And Emily, how can the kids?
Yes.
Okay,
win
so
this.
This is our Teen Summer Grand Prize. So it's ages 13 through 18. If you read the most over the summer, you'll get this custom-made longboard.
Ooh, that's an incentive.
my daughter has tried for the past 3 years, and she came in second last year, so she did not get the longboard. And then I was going to say, when I took this to the school, the adults were very impressed with it. When I walked through the hallway, they were like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's the grand prize for summer reading." They were like, "How do we enter?"
So do we need to get another one to give away to the teachers in August? Actually, that'd be pretty neat. In a big school too.
Yeah.
Those hallways would be good.
That would be.
Those hallways would be good. So you've got a motorized one.
Oh yeah, I got to ride. My daughter's Irish danced for years.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And they were in the big auditorium. I forget which auditorium. It's the big one downtown. The big. It's where they have all the car shows and stuff. They have polished concrete. So all the dads assist with building the stages and taking them down. So I was on the takedown stage day, and as the stages got disassembled, I was riding on that polish. It was like, this is great, and you could see some of the ladies weren't very happy. I'm like, this is sweet. I can ride every day here. This is beautiful, you know.
So I bet you look at ground and dirt and pavement differently than other people. A little more. There's not many cracks in this. This is smooth.
I like anything smooth. Yeah. That's cool.
We got a new airport, so we'll get you out on the flight line.
Oh yeah,
we'll get you out there. It's 5,000 feet. You can run it.
Oh yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll fly in there one day.
Yeah.
Oh, you fly too?
Yeah. That's my profession.
He was. I thought you were retired.
No. I fly for we're almost like Uber of the sky. We fly beautiful little private jets, and
Well, that is awesome.
yeah, and then
Just get more interesting as we go on. The world's most interesting man on the podcast. I missed half of it.
Yeah. I brewed beer too. So okay,
Oh,
there
my.
we go.
Of course you do.
Do you drive monster trucks?
No, but I have a
Okay.
Jeep.
There we
Of
go.
course he does,
Yeah,
and it's
good
probably
job.
got a skateboard and a surfboard hanging out the back.
Just hanging out in Hyde Park doing cool
You know,
things.
I started my family late, so I had plenty of time to goof off. You know, now I don't do as much of the fun stuff as I used to because I got girls and we have swimmers, we have dancers, we had all kinds of stuff. So
Right.
it's all about the family now.
Yeah.
But when I'm not flying or I'm not
Sailing.
skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
Well, I've only been sailing once in the last couple of years. But if I'm not at a swim meet, I'm out in the garage or a little workshop building these. So
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here and doing another year, and we're excited to get people excited to read. And I mean, these go.
We pretty much. I just carried around during the summer.
It's hard to pry it from Emily's hands. Actually. That's the saddest part. But you did give her that bottle opener,
Yes,
so that'll be.
I'm like beyond excited.
Yeah, we call those footballs because of the shape. It's the football. So.
I'm really excited about this.
This is amazing. All right, well, I will
thank
stop
you.
there. Thank you so very much.
No,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
very much. And
This is great.
we love your program. We're excited to be a part of it. Yeah, the whole family. So thank you very much.
Thank you.